Good afternoon, everybody. It's time for another Chuck Chat, March 24th. Start off with a little humor. The humans are leaving these free hammocks everywhere. With all the craziness in Washington, I'm surprised April Fool's Day isn't a federal holiday. Yes, April Fool's Day is coming up, folks. And it will be our 54th anniversary at Westminster. I'm a little worried about my new tax software. It's recommending I slip across the border into Canada. Subtract the peas from the gross adjusted leftovers, then add the gravy from line 3 and pass the corn. Daddy gets like this at tax time. The buck stops here for a brief rest and then continues on its journey to the IRS. COVID-19 in Westminster, really quickly, there's been no changes since the last time we talked. We have no active cases amongst the residents or associates. We've tested almost 9,000 times, and our infection rate's 1.12%. COVID tracker for Texas, the numbers are trending down. They continue to, which is all good news. We're well over 2.5 million cases in Texas, and I think that Texas has the most cases in the union. Finally, though, we are going to get to move into phase 3 of our reopening. And what does that mean? I'm going to send out a document shortly that will let you know that, but I'll go over some quick things. We will be allowing external presenters when wearing a mask must enter through the north entrance and screen in. Indoor resident activities for groups with social distancing based on the room capacity. So up to 60 in Harris Bell Hall. Personal vehicle trips may be approved for no quarantine by the executive director. If you travel, so if you go on a trip, cruise, international or domestic travel, air travel, or any mass transit travel, you will be subject to CDC guidelines and quarantine. Visitations opening up, visitors will be allowed at the community when masks are worn and limited to 4 at a time per residence. Yes, you can start visiting in your homes. Residents may resume off-campus visits with family and friends. I think a lot of you have been doing that already. On-site visits may resume in residential units and/or community designated meeting points. Limit 4. All time and age restrictions have been removed, and we're going to return to normal community policy. Visitor screening must occur, though. Everybody has to screen in through the AccuShield stations located at the lobby or have your temperature checked by one of the concierge security. Guest rooms are still not open to visitors at this time, and social distancing and masks are required. Dining, sit-down dining is available at 50% capacity, and we did that back earlier in March. Meal deliveries will be continued through April at no charge. There are no self-service areas like buffets. There are grab and go, though. No guests in the dining room at all, except for personal service providers. Social distancing is required. So we're not opening up to family guests in the dining room. However, you can order to-go meals for your families or guests and eat those in your apartment. On-site marketing, I'm not going to go over all that, but basically they're allowed to schedule tours with no time restrictions. Quarantine, no self-quarantine period is required. However, self-monitoring and wellness checks will be required for the first 14 days for new residents. No quarantine for hospital visits. Local stays, so if you stayed overnight at your daughter's house or something like that locally, we're not requiring quarantine anymore, but we are asking you to self-monitor, and we will be calling to check on you for 14 days. Again, residents who return from a trip, cruise or international or domestic air travel or any other mass transit are subject to CDC guidelines, which is recommending quarantine. Good news for healthcare as well. Visitation will open. This actually is going to start tomorrow, Thursday, the 25th. Please follow all precautionary guidelines, including wearing masks, screening in, hand washing, and sanitizing. Please contact the Health Services Reception Desk, so the Arbor Reception Desk, if you have any questions. They'll be happy to help you. COVID-19 vaccine. So as you know, 99%, almost 100% of residents have been vaccinated. 76% of associates have been vaccinated. We have been approved as a vaccine provider. We received that news yesterday. We have now applied for supply of the vaccine. This will allow us to provide vaccines to our new residents, associates, and patients. We actually have received all the freezers and coolers, so those are already installed and ready to go. We can now store any of the vaccines that are available. Again, please wear your mask in common spaces unless you're eating. London is doing a really good job of wearing her mask at the top picture. March 24th, questions and answers. Is Westminster going to address the bare dirt areas along Jackson Avenue? And yes, we will. We'll do the same thing that we did with the courtyard. We'll be replacing sod along that area. This area is planned to be addressed in the coming weeks. We're currently waiting on a bid. So as soon as we get that, we'll sign off on it and get it going. When are the windows scheduled to be washed? Well, typically we would do that in the springtime and then again in the fall. I'd like to wait until June. The buildings are coming up out of the ground. There's a lot less dirt going to be moved, but I'd really like to wait until June or early July to make sure that there's just not a lot of dust. So I think that should be dying down as we get further along into the expansion project. What is going on with the community Wi-Fi and when can we expect it to be fixed? So apparently there was a hardware failure over the last several days that occurred. It was intermittent, so it was difficult to track down. It was causing intermittent outages for Wi-Fi in multiple locations throughout the campus. The part was overnighted to us and was installed yesterday. And it was actually being installed when I was putting this slideshow together. So it should be up and running. I have checked my Wi-Fi this morning and I have full bars. So hopefully it's working that way across the campus. If you have any issues, again, please call reception and have a work order placed. Construction update, we're moving steadily from the both construction projects. The Carlisle's coming up out of the ground. We're still pouring concrete and will be for some time, but we're coming up on the second level of the parking garage now. And then also on the first level, the top level of the parking garage is about to be poured, as you can see in the picture. Then as far as the Windsor Tower infill, you can see that we're moving up to the second floor of that area now. So the first floor has been poured and the garage level floor was poured, and now we're moving up. So we'll continue to do that. I'm just going to provide this to you in your packets just to keep you up to date. It's really small to see on the screen, I know, so I'm not going to go through it in detail, but you can see where we're pouring concrete later on this month. We're pouring actually this week. We're pouring concrete on level 1 is being poured in the parking garage, so that continues that work. And then other items as well. Talks about the courtyard improvements here, relocating fences and creating the fountain area, special surface and things like that over this week. So lots of progress. It's our intent to hopefully open that courtyard in May. So still looks like we're on plan to meet that. You can see that we've opened up both sides of the bridge. The Windsor Courtyard continues that work. The outdoor kitchen, water feature, all of that's been installed. Pergolas were installed and should be installed, continue to be installed. Bistro expansion is making good progress. Yes, we have removed the Live Well Cafe or other name that we were going to give it. We will call it the Bistro. I know that'll make a lot of you happy. So I've talked to the team and we'll keep that name. The drive between the Windsor and the Preston is open. Please do not drive north of this drive. The construction area on the west and north side of the Windsor is very congested. It's very busy through there. It'd just be a lot safer if you drive your personal vehicle through the middle driveway as opposed to going north of that. So the driveway that I'm talking about, please turn here and please turn here and go through this driveway. Don't go north of this corner. It's, as I said, it's very congested through here. So it's ideal if you go around the Preston and you're parking in these carports or anything, just drive through this driveway. That's the safest route at this point. Community update. So just culinary services. Laurel Dining Room is open at 50%. And grab and go continental breakfast is available for pickup in the Laurel Dining Room and also in the game room in the Windsor from 7 to 9:30. The Laurel is open for all 3 meals, including serving a breakfast menu until 1 p.m. each day. The Laurel Dining Room will be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. with the last seating at 7 p.m. Reservations are required for dinner only. So please call with reservations for dinner. Starting April 1st, dining services will require a 48-hour notice for meal delivery cancellations. If you do not cancel in advance, you will be charged for the delivered meals. And the reason for that is that we have a lot of people canceling at the last minute or changing their minds, and we've already delivered the meals and prepared them. So we don't want to have a lot of waste. So let's help us with canceling your deliveries at least 48 hours notice, okay? And the dining room is open, so come use it. Preston Building and Grounds projects update. Preston corridor flooring almost completed. As you can see that we have installed most of the vinyl tile at this point. They didn't do a really good job installing it the first time. So it looks like they're doing much better this time. The 4th floor laundry room was completed, so check it out. Corridor walls, handrails, trim, all of that work is going to be starting this coming week. We're also going to be sealing all of the fireboxes to be this week, starting this week. Those are no longer active. We have a different system now. Preston Courtyard repair has started on the landscape. They made a lot of progress the last few days. It's looking much better. The boiler serving Sea Wing is still planned to be replaced. We're planning to put that on the roof. There is a temporary boiler in place, and we're continuing to work with the contractor to design the replacement. Water softening on all campus will be completed by the end of this week. There's been multiple delays on that project because of equipment issues. There's just a shortage of equipment. Lots of things are back ordered, especially appliances and other items. So just be aware of that. I'm sorry for these delays. I'd hoped to have that project completed. It will be completed this week. Hot water control. We're installing some new systems throughout the campus for better hot water control, especially in the mechanical rooms in the Preston. So that work will be hopefully completed by mid-April. And then we're doing an emergency planning audit and system upgrades over the next few months. We'll be doing, we're going to start with a discovery and just kind of audit our systems. So if you see us doing inspections and things, that's what it's about. We'll have a mechanical engineer helping us with some design features, upgrading the generators and some of the electrical capacity for our generators, and also hopefully dual fuel generators so that we can have active generators if the power is to go off in the future. We're also doing some water projects, as you well know, and those will continue over the next several months. So it's Westminster has been a pretty good year for us so far. 2021, we've had quite a few achievements. The newest is an award for Robin Akins, Resident Health and Wellness Director. So if you see her in the halls, congratulate her. She's receiving the Emerging Leader Award through Leading Age Texas, and that conference is occurring in May. Just a reminder that star cards can be used for any associate, including those in management and supervisory positions. Star cards can be turned into any reception desk. You can also just send me a note, or any member of the leadership team send a note. Star cards are received by the Human Resources Department and tracked. Stars of the year, stars of the month, etc. For everybody are received through that program. COVID-19 reminders: always wear your mask when outside of your home or when receiving services in your home. This is still mandatory at Westminster. Practice good hand hygiene. Do not touch your face, eyes, or mask. Try to limit your travel. Maintain social distancing of 6 feet or more. Follow all precautions even after you receive the vaccine. All visitors to our campus, families, friends, staff, and private caregivers must sign in and be screened. Masks are required in common spaces. If you still need your vaccine card and haven't received it yet, please drop by Resident Health Services to pick them up. So there's been several attempts to pass them out. A lot of you folks are busy doing things, so we may have missed you. If you don't have your vaccine card, just come to the Resident Health Services office. Thank you all for making Westminster an extraordinary place. Stay strong, stay healthy. Appreciate you all very much. Have a great rest of your week.